Okay everybody, time to introduce another project to this channel that is actually neither a rotary or a jet ski. It is my motorcycle. This is a 1974 Kawasaki KS125. My buddy TJ got it for me. It does not run, and it has not run in quite a while. But today I'll start. I'm going to be cleaning the points on it, hopefully in this video, because it has no spark. Then theoretically, so I've been told, that is about the only thing wrong with it. So do that, see if we get spark, and then, you know, maybe it'll start up. Probably not, but it'd be pretty sick if it did. So I'll set y'all up and we'll pull the timing cover off the side. Okay guys, so I'm learning along with you here. I've never worked on this bike. I've had it for a while and haven't touched it. So we're learning together. Got that screwed off. But, so this bike, as it says 74, it has points. It doesn't have electronic ignition, which I know some of y'all are saying, oh no, points. Honestly, I don't find points as being that bad. That RX-7 that you've been watching in those videos, the 79 Matilda RX-7, that thing's got points. I didn't even have to clean them, and they worked. And that thing sat for 16 years. So I wouldn't necessarily just shoo away from points because people say they're scary. But honestly, I've had a lot more issues with electronic ignition. There's a bike in there. It's called a Jin Chang. Well, not a bike, just a motor. And I tried to get that thing going, and it was a pain just to try and get some spark into that bad boy. And gosh dang, it's not coming off. Oh, maybe that one holds it too. Oh, dang it. So, y'all probably can't see from there, but the majority of these screws are fairly stripped out. Somebody's tried to get this off in the past, and they kind of epically failed. So, we're going to do our best at not continuing their dirty work of stripping all these screws, and we'll see if we can get it done. I'll turn the camera off for now, and I'll get it back on once I get this off. Okay guys, got the stair cover off here, and why don't y'all tell me here real quick what's missing to make this thing have spark? Yeah, you can probably hear Matt back there, but there is no cam lobe right there. So for you all that don't know how points work, this right here is the point. This is your condenser down here. There would normally be a cam lobe right here on the crank, and it would open and close this right here, and that gives like your ignition system a ground, and loses it, gives it ground. That's what creates your spark. Well, there's no cam lobe right here to open and close that, so there will be no spark. Now there's a way to check to see if your points are okay. If the battery had charge, I could turn it on and I could just open and close, and there should be a spark in between, because I do believe this thing has a battery. But so this is as far as I can go right now, because I don't have that cam lobe, so I'm going to need to try and find a new cam lobe for that. and I will continue the video once I have that. So goodbye until then. Hey everyone, it's been a few weeks since I filmed the first part of this episode, and honestly I don't even remember where I left off. I know I was talking about the ignition system on the bike, so I'm just going to kind of go back through it again, and in editing I'll figure it out. But I know I told y'all that found out that there was a lack of flywheel. So I went on eBay, found myself a flywheel, and it has finally come. Now it'll be time to put the flywheel on, which will be able to open and close these points and send some signals to these coils. So, one thing I am going to do before I put this flywheel on, because it'll be a little difficult to do after, is I'm just going to kind of go ahead and just give these points just a little bit of like a scraping, just to clean them up. Normally you'd want to use like sandpaper, but I don't have any right now, so I will just be doing that, and then I'll spray them off with a little brake parts cleaner. And I'm sorry guys if it's kind of hard to hear. It is absolutely pouring rain right now, and the shop that I'm in has a tin roof, so it'll be a little loud. But at least I'm not sitting in the rain, and I was working on the RX until the RX-7 earlier today, working on the brakes, and I was doing that a lot in the rain. So now I will go ahead and get this flywheel put on. Okay, so here's the flywheel that I got. I just went in there and I just put a tiny little bit of anti-seize in there, just so if it ever has to come back off, which, you know, it's probably gonna have to come back off, it'll just come off a little bit easier. But I mean, when I say just a little bit, just get like a little bit of a coating in there. So this will now go right onto there. Hopefully it will slide right on real easy. Couldn't tell if it was opening the points or if it was going over the key. Quiet here, guys. It's kind of hard to tell. It sucks itself on there. I'm gonna need to. The camera is also my light, so I'm gonna have to stop y'all for a second so I can use my light. So I'm just gonna go in a little bit here. So you saw me trying to get that flywheel on right there. I messed with that flywheel for a while. I kept putting it on there, and the magnet would kind of grab it and just twist it in my hand, and it wasn't one to line up with the key. Eventually I got it on there, and you'll see that in the next clip, how I told you how I got it tightened down. But if y'all are ever having to put one of these flywheels on, make sure you are very careful when you do it. It's really easy to get it like off and not on the key, and if you don't get it on the key, your timing's going to be off, and your flywheel could just spin on your crankshaft. So be careful when you're doing that make sure you get it on the key properly. So I got the flywheel on here. It's not super tight. I don't entirely like how it feels. It feels like it might be hitting just a tiny little bit, but I'm not entirely sure. To get it, I got it as tight as I could. I just put the bike in gear and held my foot down on the foot brake and on the front brake, and then tightened it with my arm just going down. It's not just gonna fly off, and it, you know, it's on the key. So I think I'll go ahead and then I will get the tank and seat off, and I got a coil too, so I'll move on to that coil. Okay, got the tank off and the seat off, and now you can see this crusty old coil. The real reason I'm getting rid of it is because of that, and it's really too short to try and fix it at this point. So I'm getting rid of it, and I ordered a new one that said it was a new old stock direct replacement one, which, you know, you just have Mitsubishi made in Japan. But no genius here, but that don't look exactly like that coil. This one's like double the size. So we'll see if I can get this mounted up there somehow. And then we'll hook it up and see if I have spark, which I have to say I'm fairly doubtful. I don't know if I need to have the battery charged. I really might. And if that's the case, I do not have the ability to do that right now. I left the battery charger back at the house, and I'm not going back, grabbing it, and coming back. So that might have to happen on a later date. And if that's the case, that will probably be the end of this first Kawasaki video, and I will come back later. So I will probably set y'all up for a time lapse, and I will get that coil taken off. So as you can see, it just finished time lapse. I got that coil on there. Now, right after I did that off camera, I had kicked it and I could see spark through the wire onto the head. So I went ahead and I'd ordered a boot. I put the little connector on there and I set the spark plug down on the head, kicked it, and I had no spark. I could tell even once I had the spark plug on there, I was still getting spark because I shocked the crap out of myself when I grabbed the end of the wire while I was kicking it over, which I ended up doing multiple times throughout the evening. But since I didn't have, I had spark to the wire, but I didn't have spark through the spark plug, it was really weird. I've never had an issue like this before. So I was thinking like, well, maybe the coil is just bad straight from the start, or it's weak. So I grabbed a 6-volt coil that I had purchased earlier for a little China motor that I wanted to use on a go-kart that was just sitting in the shop when we got the shop. But I ended up, that engine was trash, but I still had the coil that I'd gotten for it, and it was a little 6-volt coil. And quite honestly, I don't know if this bike's a 6-volt or 12-volt. Think it's a 12-volt, not entirely sure. Grab this coil, hook it out, put it on, no spark whatsoever. So now I'm starting to get concerned, like, hey, did I just mess up some sort of wiring setup that at least gave me some spark? So I then took the old coil that I had just taken off and put it back on, and honestly, at this point, I am kicking it over and I'm still getting no spark. And started to freak myself out. That coil, though, that I took off the bike was probably dead. Only reason I was really placing it was because it was crusty and I thought it could potentially be bad, and the coil's not that expensive, and that the wire was messed up on it. So I took it off. I'm like, well, let me just put this coil that I just bought back on, see if I can at least get the spark through the wire again. I put it back on, and honestly, the spark is a little brighter. So I'm like, oh, well, maybe I did something. I put my little spark plug clip back on, set it down in the head, and it started sparking. So now I will let y'all get back to the actual video, and you can see it there. Just wanted to explain. There was a big jump, so I wanted to explain what I did in that period of time. Okay, guys. It's actually been a few hours since the last clip, but I have it. I have spark. It's not the best spark. See it? But it is spark. So, that took a while. I don't entirely know what I did to make it work. I was trying different coils. Like, I've got another, there's the original coil. There's another coil sitting on my toolbox right there. But I got it. I think I was having connection issues too, right there. I've really got it on there good now. So that's probably gonna end it for this video. This will be the first Kawasaki video. I will put the cover back on, but I don't think y'all will care to see that. So in the next one, we will either be tackling opening up the carburetor or doing clutch, because I might just actually try and put some fuel in the carburetor and see if I can get it to run. But I got spark, and I'm very happy about that. So thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe. And now I don't know when this video is going out, but recently I fixed the channel to where post notifications can be on now. So make sure you go ahead and turn your post notifications on so you can see when a video is posted. So thank you all.